Just take it slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes I will. Oh my god. I just figured we could have a little chat, you know? Hey, it's Erin. Welcome back to my channel. I was on Twitter earlier and I found a hashtag that was extremely interesting. And it was a hashtag that said, things I used to believe when I was younger. And I thought, that'd be a good video to do because there are tons of things I used to believe when I was younger. You could say I was quite a gullible child. I probably still am, really. So I've just felt it'd be really interesting to share with you some of the things I used to believe when I was little. The first thing was, if you eat the pips of a fruit, a tree will grow in your belly. I remember my granddad telling me this and I was about 7 or 8 and I think it absolutely scared the shit out of me. But I was like, what? I was like, how does that work? Does that mean I've got to eat soil? Does that mean I've got to stand out in the sunlight? No. It was just one of those things that adults told you to basically just stop you from choking, really, because if you think about it, pips are quite choking hazards for children, aren't they? But yeah, I can say I swallowed tons of orange pips when I was little, and there's no tree inside of me. Although I am quite thick, so maybe my brain's full of like twigs or something, I don't know. Number 2, I don't know if you remember, but in 2012 there was like this massive rumour going around the media that the world was gonna end, and I was, to say the least, absolutely terrified. I believed this. I was like, right mum, I'm gonna say my goodbyes to you on this day, like everyone's gonna be going about the business, but I know that the world's gonna end. And she was like, Erin, stop being stupid, like the world's not gonna end, you've got many years ahead of you. And I was like, no mum, I'm not even lying, the paper said so. 2012, when we got told the world was gonna end, yeah, I was extremely gullible. And then the day after 2012, because obviously we're in 2017 now, I'm still here to tell the tale, my mum texts me, oh, so how did the world end go? Are you still here? Like, she was laughing. Her and her friends had a good giggle about it in work. Oh, my kid's just texting me saying her goodbyes because she thinks the world's gonna end in 10 minutes. And I was like, Mum, I'm absolutely terrified. I'm sat in maths class. If this teacher doesn't know this world's gonna end, like, I'm gonna die in school and it's not the way I want to go. How old was I in 2012? 16? See, I was 16 and I was still believing stuff like that. Number 3 of the things I used to believe as a kid. I actually thought that cigarettes were rolled up £5 notes and people would light money and smoke money, which is kind of true in a way, but I remember my granddad had these cigarettes and they had like little blue tinges on the end of them, and I'd always look and I'd be like, Granddad, why are you smoking a £5 note? That was just another weird thing that I thought was true, really. Number 4, this is probably one a lot of people can relate to or have experienced, and that was, when you were little, did you ever sit in the car, look up at the moon and think it was following you? And you'd be like, why is the moon following us, Mum? And she'd be like, it's not, we're moving, the moon's just in the sky and always will be in the sky. And I always find it extremely weird that you could be looking up at the moon and someone somewhere else could be looking up at the moon, but they live miles away. That's quite deep, isn't it? But weird. I think that I have a lot of these, what I used to believe as a child, because I was quite a creative, imaginative, weird kid. But another thing I used to believe as a child, and this was me and my sister actually, where our kitchen is, there is a window and you can look out onto the street behind, and there was a mirror. There was always this mirror just chilling in this house that we could see from our kitchen window, and me and my sister would stand there, and I'm not, if you're familiar with the artist Macy Gray, we actually thought it was her. Like the shape of the mirror, it looked like Macy Gray's head, and me and my sister would stand there in the dark and look up at this house and be like, that's where Macy Gray lives. Honestly, we were so weird. my mum was really into Macy Gray and she'd always play her songs. So I just remember this very vividly, that me and my sister would go to the window and be like, that's Macy Gray's house, because that's her head. One day we'd looked out in the daylight and we'd seen it was just a reflection of a mirror on the window. And we was devastated, to say the least. Some of the things I used to believe as a kid were some very popular things, like believing in the Tooth Fairy and believing in Santa Claus. I'm actually extremely gutted that I grew up, because I know my mum made Christmases so fun when we believed in Santa. Me and my sister had this Tooth Fairy book, and it had like a little purple pouch and little golden drawstring. So when your tooth fell out, you'd put your tooth in there, and then you'd wake up in the morning and there'd be £1 in there, or a £2 coin. I remember that book so much. I actually still have the little pouch we used to put our teeth in. Believing in Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, was just some of the things that I actually miss. Like, it's why I always say, like, I can't wait to have my own children, because I will make Christmases and Easters and all that just as fun as my mum used to make them. Like, it was so much more fun when you believed. Well, I think everyone believed in Santa and the Tooth Fairy at some point. Another thing I used to believe as a child was WWE was real. I could imagine that a lot of people believe this also, but I was absolutely devastated when I found out it was all fake. Like, my best friend in year 7, she had posters in her room of like John Cena and all these different wrestlers, and I was literally like, this is so amazing. But because I shared a room with my sister, I never actually was allowed stuff like that up. Well, she didn't let me. So yeah, that's another one. Another extremely stupid thing I used to believe as a child. Now, it isn't something I remember, it was something I've actually been told, and it was that to make girls I can't even say it, that the reason girls are girls is because their penises were chopped off at birth. I actually used to think that you could choose whether you wanted a girl or a boy. So everyone would come out with a penis, and then if they wanted a girl, they'd just chop the willy off and then have a girl. Now, I actually don't remember believing this, but I remember my grandma telling me when my younger brother was born. So how old would I have been? I was 8 when my brother was born, and I remember my grandma remembers me saying to her, like, oh, so because my mum has girls, she wants a boy now, so she won't chop the willy off. And my grandma just like was like, my grandma was like, what the hell, like, what are you talking about? And I was like, because he's gonna be a boy, we don't have to chop the willy off now. And then my grandma was like, that's not how it works. Like, you either come out with a willy or you don't. It doesn't get chopped off. Oh god. I don't even know where I got that thought from. It was obviously just something I had thought about and thought was real. God, that was so weird. I actually, for one, can't remember them all, and 2, I'll be here all day. So this is going to be the last one. I used to believe that all shoes had scents. One summer holiday, we went on a family holiday to Ibiza, and my mum had bought me and my sister these Reebok classics that smelt like candy floss, and they were the best things ever. I remember wearing the absolute hell out of them. And my mum wasn't like extremely rich. My mum and dad weren't like extremely well off, but my mum says she remembers being so excited, wanting to buy these shoes for us for our holiday, and she'd saved up for ages, because £20 for a pair of trainers was a lot for shoes back then, especially for 2 children, so that's 40. And she was so excited to buy them us, and after I had those shoes, every time I'd go shoe shopping, I'd go around the shop and I'd be like, this one smells like bananas, this one smells like strawberries, this one has a hint of grape. And my mum was like, Erinn, not all shoes smell like that. They were just limited edition, a one-off sort of shoes they'd made to smell like candy floss. And ever since then, I would go around shoe shops sniffing shoes. Like, oh, what does this one smell like? I don't understand why my mum didn't just leave me on a curb when I was little. I was so weird. These were just some of the things I used to believe as a child, some weird things, some stupid things, some things you may have believed as a child. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and thank you for watching. Bye!